I never questioned meaning or purpose. I'd intuitively lived every single moment of my life in the present. I remember spending countless hours creating dances in my backyard. I played dress-up world traveler, and I even disguised my poor little brother as my gal pal fellow explorer. Oops, high heels and all. I invented the renowned Olympic sport stair railing stuffy sledding with my favorite buds, Mr. Peters and Squeaky the Platypus, who always graciously shared gold. And I taught the whole neighborhood how to play bloody knuckles. Not at all how it sounds, but pure and uninhibited, I expressed myself from my heart. When we are little, we all know this secret truth to life without even asking. Little human beings simply just being. And then we grow up. When I was a little older, maybe about 11 years old, I remember lying on my back on the trampoline, looking up at the sky and questioning for the first time in my life, why are we here? What is my purpose? The expectations of adults and pressures of society have begun to dampen my spirit. I was pulled out of playtime and put into programs. Time to follow the rules and fit the mold. That question, what is my purpose, haunted my subconscious all through my teens and early 20s as the funneling action of society bullied me to believe that the answer was in a prestigious education, a stable job, and a big house. I knew in my heart it wasn't me, so I literally moved all over North America and Europe, jumping from one job to the next in search of what I was meant to be doing, but just not doing it. But before I go on, I want to start by asking you all a question. How many of you currently do your job for the money? No, let me be more clear. If I was to hand you $1 million right now, would you still do your job? Show of hands. Not bad. Like many of you, I chase the dollar signs that are promised here in Fort McMurray with my 3-year plan in hand. First, to pay off my student loans that helped me get a career I really didn't like. And then to pay off my car that helped me commute to this job I didn't want to go to. And finally, to save up for my future dream life. Meanwhile, I was so freaking miserable in my present. I'd literally become a human doing, just doing my lists of to-dos and dwelling on plans for the future. The present moment no longer existed because it was no fun. So why is there this immense pressure to stay on the hamster wheel of work, consume, work, consume? Do you ever feel like one of those zombies in the movies where the highlight in your brain is either food, Facebook, Tim Hortons drive-thru, and then you go home to sit in front of the TV for 4 hours, hypnotizing your brain to prepare to go shopping on the weekend, spend all your money you just earned in this unfulfilling job, just so you have to go back to work on Monday? After my first brutal winter up here in my hamster wheel job, I felt more hollow, unsatisfied, and alone than ever before. I couldn't even recognize the girl standing in front of the mirror. Initially, I listened to society's happiness prescription, and I asked for a raise, thinking more money would help. I bought a bunch of new stuff, tried on a bunch of different diets, and I even exercised more than I already did. The 4 hours a day was not enough. But it didn't work. And I got a lot sicker. So after some medical testing and visits to my doctor, she nonchalantly informed me, so, Kaitlin, it looks like you have a sluggish thyroid known as hypothyroidism. Your adrenals are shot. You've developed dysbiosis of the gut. Your hormones look like a menopausal woman, which may be polycystic ovarian syndrome, but this does not look good for conceiving a baby. What? Disease actually comes from dis-ease, meaning basically unhappy. I was gathering a collection of illnesses because of the lack of connection to my own spirit, which was spreading dis-ease throughout my entire being. I was so angry at my body, but mostly underneath it was a lot of shame. And no amount of money was making me feel any better. This was my rock bottom. I might never be a mom. My health was declining at 28 years old, and my smile was a rare sighting. I have a cute smile. I totally let that little curious girl down. Have you ever heard the term saboteur? You know, the crazy voices in your head, that incessant chatter. We all have it, but we're not usually aware of how manipulative they are. They are masters of disguise, always changing shape and form to reinforce doubt and fear. And their sole purpose is to sever our connection to our spirit. Here, let me give you some examples of some of the crazy ones in my head. Often my morning starts with the "I don't have enough" saboteur, and it goes, "I didn't get enough sleep. Today's gonna suck." Or, Move it, people! I have 8,000 things to do today! I don't have enough time to brush my teeth! Right? Then I'm onto the mirror to check my appearance when body shame saboteur goes, oh my God, look at that floating device around your waist. You're so fat. Stop eating right away. And your nose is so crooked, no person will be inspired by what you have to teach. That's super rational. Then I'm on to work, and in my car, when that massive, jacked up truck with the very real symbol of manhood hanging from the back cuts me off, and my evil witch saboteur goes, I curse the day you were born, cut your limbs, put you in soup, and dance naked under the moon celebrating your demise. Or maybe yours is more the angry, dirty-mouthed kind of saboteur that has the angry birds ablazing. I ought to ram my horn element up your butt and teach you a lesson. Either way, let's be real. This guy could have just been rushing home after sight, after an 18-hour night shift to see his kids off to school. And let's be honest, we have all accidentally cut somebody off because we weren't paying attention, right? I'm the one who clearly ruined my own day. So my point is that these saboteurs in all their unique forms are not me or you, but they make us suffer if we listen to them. They prevent us from seeing the truth, that we have more than enough, and that we are beautiful and lovable just as we are, and that how we react to the world is really up to us. Have you ever snapped at your partner or your kids for no real reason? Have you ever drowned your feelings in food and alcohol? Did buying that new purse or couch set really make you happy? There are endless distractions, and sometimes it does seem easier to avoid and numb. I walked by the same house on my street for almost 2 years, and I didn't even notice it. I didn't even notice how cute it was. Worse, I stopped listening to my husband as he shared his day, and I really hurt him. The chatter in my head was drowning out the important people in my life. My eyes were blinded by the nagging thoughts, forgetting how I ended up in the driveway from wherever I came. I wouldn't even taste the journey my food had been on to arrive on my plate. Avocados in northern Canada? I turn on the tap and water just flows. Hot, in minus 40 weather, you guys. These saboteurs had blocked out all meaningful connection, and I'd lost the essence of being human. But after all my searching, I found my awakening here in the unforgiving, frozen north. It forced me to look inside myself and face up to those deep, dark thoughts. It took a lot of time and perseverance and forgiveness, and still does, to admit that I was the cause of my unhappiness and my poor health. This community took my hand as I jumped from my passionless job into self-discovery, ignoring the, you'll never make enough money, saboteur, or you're not worthy. My healing began in the solitude of the Birchwood trails and in the serenity of my yoga mat. At first, I was running in the trails to get away from my problems and the horrifying mosquitoes, if anyone's run here, but they both chased me down. And it was one morning, I was going out with my girlfriend. We were having our usual gab sesh when I was dwelling on my plans for the future and sulking in my current situation when she kindly punched me in the face with her words and said, Kaitlin, wake up to all the possibilities right here, right now. From that moment on, I stopped running away from my discomfort and I started running towards clarity. Have you ever heard the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear? People and situations arise in our lives to teach us what we need to learn. Good and bad, uplifting and conflicting, they are a reflection of our soul. And thank God my business partner finally showed up to show me back to that little fiery girl inside. I never want to stop playing and learning again. I am a yoga teacher, but mostly yoga is my teacher, and I am the student. And as you can see, my mat and I have a really intense relationship. When I practice yoga, the whole world fades away. I just get to be that little girl creating dances again. Have you ever thought something was impossible? But then there was this aha moment. Oh. Well. That is what's so humbling about yoga. For me, it makes the impossible possible. Some days I nail it, and some days I don't. And it teaches me the lessons of life. And it's in those moments I feel the unwavering support of something greater. We only have a short time here on earth, a tiny little blip. We have to celebrate the dash between the day we are born and the day we die. So why are we wasting all this time stuck in the crazy in our heads when our hearts make us so much happier? So I chose, once and for all, to take off my unauthentic, I'm not good enough masks, shed all the hide my true feelings because it's socially inappropriate armor. I poured out the emotional suppressant glass of wine, and I sold the mind-numbing TV. And I walked straight up to the mirror. I looked myself straight in the eyes, and I said, Kaitlin, I love you, every part of you. And then I ran downstairs to my husband and soulmate and embraced him for how truly and profoundly he loves the real me. And then I called my parents and my brother, and I expressed my deepest gratitude for reaffirming my self-worth all along, even when I couldn't hear it. And then I ran out the front door, and I hugged the first tree I saw because I'm breathing, you guys. Then I drove down to the studio, where I was finally living my passion of teaching and shared with all my students what I'd learned in all my self-discovery, and that is, it's been up to me the whole time to choose love, joy, health, peace. I'm free to choose. My spirit is revived. That future dream life is now my day-to-day reality, and I literally healed from all those health issues. And I'm adopting a baby from Ethiopia. Inspiration actually comes from the term in spirit. Spirit lives in all of us, in every stream, animal, and human being. When I am in nature, I'm instantly inspired to breathe more fully, to see beyond the laid out path in front of me, and further onto all the possibilities above, around, and below me. I now know to the core of my being, I'm not separate from Mother Earth, or any one of you. Nor am I alone on this journey through life. And thank God my saboteurs aren't the only company I have to keep. It was one night I was in the trails with my dogs in the snow, and the moon was out, and instantly I was flashed with this memory of me as that little girl making up dances to this very specific song that I played over and over and over. My poor parents, I'm so sorry. But it's from the soundtrack from The Big Chill. You might recognize it. Here. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, boom, boom, was a good friend of mine, boom, boom. Then it goes on, joy to the world, all the boys and girls, joy to the fishies in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. Ask me, what is my purpose now? My passion is bringing joy and health to others through my untraditional, hardcore yoga teaching. Yeah. If we could all take that leap of faith to courageously trust in ourselves and each other and to move from this place of personal meaning and authenticity, I believe that we can bring joy to us all and the fishies and effectively heal the world. The hardest part, though, is breaking the societal norms. The spirit-crushing and divine stresses of falling in line and getting by. Money and possessions are of society's utmost importance, and happiness is unfortunately an afterthought. So it is up to us to change our values. We have to consume less to work less, and this requires mindfulness. And then we can make time to work at ourselves and help each other. It's not easy to sit still and listen to the crazy in our heads, but we've got to do it because we'll feel so much better for it. And it's not easy to let in the suffering of other people, the loss of nature worldwide, and the pollution stifling us, but we have to let it in because it inspires us to do better. And it's not easy, as you can see, taking the risk of being completely vulnerable in front of you right now, but I'm doing it because I'm hoping that it ripples positive healing to all of you. I am awake, but every day is a practice. No, every day is a battlefield, but peace wins every time I choose it. Reconnect with that little boy or girl inside yourself. Pioneer your own soul's calling. Get in there. Don't waste another minute. We have to choose right now to be a better person today than we were yesterday, and we have to choose that every moment over and over. And I promise you, you will be so much richer for it. And just a warning from my little girl to yours, you may even start to poop rainbows. Thank you.